Once upon a time, in the University of California, Los Angeles, a student played a prank on one of his classmates. Mike Morheim saw Alan Adham leave his computer for a minute. Morheim took his opportunity to change Adham's password to Joe. Unsuspecting of his treachery, Adham successfully logs back onto his computer.
Baffled at how Adham defeated him, Morheim confessed his prank. To their surprise, Adham's password had been Joe all along. From then on, the two became good friends, and soon went on to found one of the greatest game-producing firms of all time, Blizzard Entertainment. I'm Rayhan Memon.
And I'm Liam Gritters.
We're as different as night and day, but we have one similarity.
Both of us have a passion for gaming, specifically Blizzard games. StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, you name it, we've played it.
Blizzard is responsible for the most legendary titles ever created, and they've had a giant influence on our lives.
The next 15 minutes of your life is about to fly by as we take you through the workings of the beautiful machine called Blizzard Entertainment.
Blizzard's target market is incredible in the sense that it's so broad. There's a game for everyone.
They even chose to name themselves Blizzard Entertainment and not Blizzard Games so they wouldn't restrict themselves from aggressive expansion into other markets.
That being said, there are, as with all products, certain demographics that are more present than others in this industry. According to credible Blizzard forums, 60% of their games are purchased by males aged 14 to 28.
Some ask the question, are their products a need or a want?
Well, while we'd like to think that we need these games, and it goes without saying that Liam and I rely on StarCraft 2 for survival, the goods Blizzard provides are a want. We can go without it, and demand is incredibly elastic.
Any price increase would decrease the demand in a significant way. These products are unquestionably wants and not needs. The games produced by Blizzard are readily available due to the fact that these are not physical products, but simply software that can be duplicated and sold at extreme ease.
The price of the games are not affected by the cost of physical CDs, but the making and creation of the story, gameplay, and online factors, such as maintaining servers, that go into the overall production of the game.
There are many complicated factors that affect consumer demand when it comes to Blizzard. Let's take their biggest title for example, World of Warcraft. Unlike most games, this one requires a monthly subscription fee. This can be linked to a credit card or paid monthly.
Instantly, this cuts off an entire market, those who don't own credit cards or don't have a source of income for themselves. There are some sympathetic parents that are willing to help you through your Warcraft addiction, but for the most part, those who are under 18 are going to have to play the waiting game.
While Blizzard does dominate the gaming industry, raking in over $1 billion a year off World of Warcraft subscriptions alone, this isn't a monopoly.
No, unfortunately, worthy competitors such as ArenaNet and Riot Games have a fair amount of market share by making their games free to play and only charging for additional items. This market can only be defined as an oligopoly.
Look at this structure as a solar system, with these smaller planets revolving around the sun that is Blizzard Entertainment. According to the statistics given by IGN.com, Blizzard has managed to rake in a net income of $1.08 billion in 2011 and $1.149 billion in 2012, with a revenue of $4.856 billion. With the total revenue of the gaming industry globally being around 30 to 40 billion yearly, trumping the movie industry and tying the music industry,
Blizzard theoretically owns 1/7 of the gaming world, proving their oligopolistic power in this evolving industry.
the revenue of the massive gaming company is broken down into the operating income, shareholders' expenses, and net income. The operating expenses are then divided into the smaller group teams that develop the games, and a small share into the physical production.
In addition, like every company, Blizzard invests into their image by advertising, reaching out to the gaming community through the internet, events like BlizzCon, and esports, which we will later elaborate on. Each of the game series produced by Blizzard, Diablo, StarCraft, and Warcraft, all go through extensive production processes. An idea for the story and gameplay are created, followed by team input, which leads to pitching the idea. That then gets picked up to go through a crazy amount of graphic and software development. Now, Blizzard is a small and intimate team. Each product has a specific task force and close communication.
Employees working nights and weekends are not uncommon, and unfortunately sometimes their work ends up being for nothing. Blizzard constantly strives for excellence and perfection, which will sometimes result in the scrapping of various projects such as Diablo 3, Warcraft Heroes, and StarCraft Ghosts.
Alright, here we are now in the programming area. We actually break up the programming department into two different disciplines. We call it engine and game.
There's a lot of back-end work that you don't see in the final game on the tools side of things. Like our whole build pipeline, we have servers dedicated to building the game and servers dedicated to testing the game and making sure that we get reports if anything breaks at any time.
How many models, how many missiles you got, how much each costs, how many polygons, how many lights, how heavy is each light, how many shadows do they cast, and everywhere we try to make it so it has to be pretty smooth, so there's no one part of it that's going to bring the whole system down.
This long process of product development can only be described as labor-intensive. No two products Blizzard releases are the same, making each task far from cookie-cutter.
Machines such as programming computers and disk burners aid in the production of these games, but for the most part, there is no factory line or sweatshop behind Blizzard Entertainment.
The need for them is very low, as for the most part, their games are purchased and downloaded online. This type of labor is incredibly specialized. Blizzard is a small team of the world's best and brightest. They all sought out higher education in areas like finance or programming that specifically suit the role that they play in the firm. The employees at Blizzard are by no means low-skilled.
Now, the awesome thing to think about when analyzing Blizzard's economics is that supply is limitless for the most part. According to Blizzard's annual consumer report, since the release of their website Battle.net, Blizzard has sold 85% of their games through digital download. This means that the need for Blizzard to satisfy consumer demand through physical copies of their games is very low. This being the case, production of these games in box sets is a fraction of their actual sales, and therefore barely affects supply. This means marginal cost is basically non-existent. Surpluses and shortages are impossible scenarios for this firm. This firm can only be described as supply inelastic.
But for the few copies that do need to be produced, they are done so at Blizzard headquarters in Irvine, California. Now, as far as grueling creative process goes, game production teams are scattered all over the world, all representing the firm in different countries. However, Blizzard likes to keep in close communication with their teams.
In fact, the team responsible for Diablo 3, a project that got scrapped, called Blizzard North, was actually moved to Irvine, California because the firm wanted to be more watchful of their employees' work. This move to the same area led to lower costs for sending hard copy data between locations, and got rid of government regulations that were increasing opportunity cost in Redwood City.
As we have said before, 85% of copies are sold digitally. The effect Blizzard has on the environment is minuscule at best.
The effect it has on its parent company, Vivendi, however, is shocking.
Hold up, Blizzard has a parent company?
Here it goes.
Well, in 1994, the young upcomer Blizzard had been acquired by Davidson & Associates, which was later bought out by CUCU International, which later merged with HFS Corporation to become Senate, but when it was found guilty of accounting fraud, it sold off its entertainment division to a French company, Habis, which was bought by Vivendi, which then in 2007 merged with Juggernaut Activision in return for a majority holding in the ensuing company.